All right. Good morning, Erica. I wanted to take a minute to address some of your concerns. I just want to make sure my volume's all the way up so you can hear me. Address some of your concerns. I know that you're saying you're having trouble finding some things, and I think part of it might be because you're narrowing your search terms too much. I've sent out some emails about this. I've also posted a couple of videos. I hope you'll be able to see this. If you can't, you need to let me know. You may need to view it on another device, depending on how YouTube works on your Chromebook. But I wanted to reach out to you because I think you're narrowing your search terms too much. Remember, we're looking at Olga Lengyel, uh, life before the war. Now, we don't want to type in, I just typed in Olga Lengyel, and you can tell I probably have some different things that you did not have. Because if you narrow your search terms, life before the war, a lot of this disappears. You still have this main page, which is a great one, and it'd be difficult to read, but you can narrow your terms, and I think this is kind of what's happened because this has become one of your top searches. So instead, let's just search her name and do some reading. That's going to be the biggest thing is you're going to have to read on this individual to be able to understand what's going on with her, okay? So once you search her name, click on the very first site and see if you don't find some things that you didn't know before, okay? Read through this. You're going to have to read. It's not very long. See if there's anything before 1941 that we can actually find out. You know, most of this, even in this one, is about before the war. Okay. It does tell you when she was born. It tells you that she had a husband and her two sons were forced into the ghetto cars in 1944. Okay. So this will be kind of the start of the war for her if you want to save this for later. But we do find out her birth date. She was the only member of her family to survive. So that could also be something you have in your introduction. All right. Um, we also have quite a few interviews. Okay. So, listening to her interviews, these are things you can actually listen to and understand and know. All right. And I also kind of forgot that this is an entire institute dedicated to her. So, yeah, you can click on About for Olga Lengyel, but you can also look at resources and see what they have in here. Okay. They have Five Chimneys, right, which is her book. Now, it just has um, some smaller excerpts out of it, some two chapters out of it, but you can still use those and see and actually read through them. The trick is that you do have to do the research. You actually have to do the reading. So that takes some time. I know you're working from behind now because you've kind of taken your time getting started, but here's People Pill. That's a good one to look at. Olga Yangel library thing may have some information about her. Let's click on it and find out. It doesn't have a whole lot of information, has a lot of search terms. So I don't really love that either. But I did tell you that, and it's the reason why I haven't clicked on it yet. If you look at their Wikipedia page, you can find information. Now, the Wikipedia page itself is not good. Do not use the Wikipedia page itself. Scroll down to references, though. And it has links that we can actually use. Here's an article from the New York Times. In Austrian soil, teaching those I was taught to hate. You can click on these, and they'll actually take you. This one takes us right back to this. Oh, well, here's some. Takes us right back to where we were before. So we know this is a good site to use. Okay. Now let's click on the other ones and see what we can find. There's her obituary. We don't want that. This is her book, Five Chimneys. So apparently that's a good one to be using. This is on Austrian soil. Tells you kind of what's going on. Gives you a little brief synopsis of what's going on there. Now, if we're still having trouble finding some items, I get it. It's tough. I'm not saying that research isn't tough, but you can listen to what she has to say about her own life, right? You can actually listen to what she's saying. These are good resources. Okay. I'm not saying listen to a 4 hour video, but it may not be bad to look at some of these clips. This hour and a half one probably is a little bit more doable. Listen to parts of the video to understand what's going on there. Here's encyclopedia.com. Let's see if it has more information on her. Wait for it to load. Yep, 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 yep. It's got some stuff in here. And Nazis, when it affects us with their own Nazi morals. It probably wouldn't be bad to have this. That could be used for things she found out before the war. Um, this is things that you can also use right here. Uh, there is information here. You can find out where she was educated. You can find out who her family was. Now, really important thing is there's more than one page. Now, a lot of these are here's a Facebook page on remembering the martyrs of the Holocaust, story of rescue, the Gudzik family. Um, you know, we can look and see if that has anything about her in there. Um, but there are things here to look at. Now it has Olga little facts, so let's take a look at that. See if having the actual facts will help us out at all. Bring anything else up. A lot of things I've already clicked on and looked at. Redemptive Family Narratives. This is a PDF. Looks like it's part of her book. It's going to be in German, so that's not a good one. Not unless you can read German, which I don't think you can. So I get that. Oh, wait. Look at this. This part. It's not in German, it's in English. So we can actually use this and take a look at it. This is something we can use, okay? Let's see if it's actually something about her. But you will actually have to look through this stuff. I know that it takes time. I know that, it'll take some actual reading. But we need to make sure we're going through it and trying to figure out. Here's Olga Lengyel timeline. Okay. It keeps coming back to Five Chimneys for a lot of reasons. Here is link.springer.com. Let's see if this has something. This might have more than what we want to have and cover. Here's something I know that we haven't looked at, her genealogy. So in other words, her timeline, her actual life timeline. So you can find out what her family was like, right? It's a different Olga Lengyel, so we can't use that one. But there is information out there. You do have to read it. I know that people have been able to find stuff. Okay. If you want to reach out on Google Hangouts, I created a group for you all, right? Alyssa Cook's in it. Haley Pruitt is in it. And Kyle Rubel's in it. So, I mean, I know there's information out there because Alyssa Cook has turned this in and found stuff as well. So, I'll even bring up her website and see if that won't be beneficial. Okay. She used the Tolley Institute. I'm not saying you have to have a ton, but you do need to have information over her life. Here's encyclopedia.com, which is what we looked at. Motherhood in Germany. If you search that, you'll find stuff about Olga Engel, redemptive family narratives. These are all things that we saw in our research that we just looked at. So it is possible to find it. You just need to do the reading. You can't just click on the first page and hope that you find everything. I know that I try to look for Five Chimneys PDF with, you have to have an Overdrive account, which I do because I'm part of the Festus Library. If you're part of the Festus Library, maybe that'll be beneficial. So I can look at Five Chimneys. I don't know if you'll be able to, okay? But even just searching Five Chimneys PDF, I was able to find some information. Actually, this might be the full book right here. Let me take a look. Let's see if we can get a copy of this book by clicking on this. But there are ways out of there. There are ways to find this information without having to buy this book. But you need to actually read it. Okay, you need to actually do the research because it is there. All right. If you need help beyond this, let me know. I'll be happy to help. But for now, let's try searching her name, just her name, and go from there. Okay, you can also try her timeline facts. It'll give options down here to try and find it. Okay, so good luck. Let me know if I can do anything else to help.